different host of
Figure
options.
your spider guard game.
Jeez! Cyborg gave
Jeez! Let's watch that again.
Tenho história pra contar, eu vivi. Dá olhada no.
Hello, my political haters and jiu-jitsu lovers. Memento Mori, let's get into it. Just before we do that, I appreciate all the comments and positive feedback on the combat sports analysis, especially the last one where I did Gordon Ryan versus Nicky Rod and gave my thoughts on that match. If you haven't seen that, you can go on the link below and click that, or go to the profile, or maybe click up here and you can probably see the video there. Or is it up here? Not too sure. But anyways, I appreciate it. All my favorite comments will be at the end of this video. Now, the first IBJJF Absolute GP happened. So we got an 8-man tournament and 5 super fights. What I've seen so far is these matches, right? I've seen Kaynan Duarte versus Elder, Cyborg versus Enrique, Pereira, who's a machine, versus Low, and Ryder versus Gabriel. Now, the match that I'm about to analyze is the Kaynan Duarte versus Cyborg. Super, super keen to watch this match. I had the pleasure of rolling with Kaynan.
Don't feel the fall.
There's no way.
He absolutely destroyed his division and demolished, I mean demolished, Craig Jones in the finals.
Kaynan is racking up points here, right? 11-0 with 1 minute and 8 seconds left. Dominant performance by Kaynan Duarte.
There was some points discrepancy. He kept getting, these penalties. Even Craig Jones himself didn't agree with the penalties after the match.
The referees, I paid them quite a bit of money prior to the match to give out those penalties. And at one point I was even up. But I say this sincerely, if I had won via penalties, I wouldn't have taken that gold medal. I would have given it back to him, because that's really no way to win.
Quite good sportsmanship from Craig Jones. As much as ADCC, maybe they wanted him to win, the rightful person won. Craig Jones even said later at an interview that he'd like to see Kaynan Duarte versus Gordon Ryan. He believes that he's the biggest competitor for Gordon Ryan, which is another match that I'd love to see. Me, I've rolled with Kaynan Duarte. He came down to Australia just after his ADCC win, and he came through, showed some love. We had a little face-off, and then we had a little roll. It was fun, and I got him in a guillotine. Well, we'll just end it there. Let's just end the video there. We don't need to go any further. End the video there. If you want to see me do a fight analysis of that roll, let me know in the comments below. As I mentioned, my favorite comments will be at the back of the next video. Appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Subscribe, like the video, share it out if you want to continue seeing some of these fight analysis. Now, let's get into Kaynan versus Cyborg.
And we're off and running in our first semi-final of the evening. Cyborg in the white, Kaynan Duarte in the blue gi here.
Automatically, you can see some little movements from Cyborg. It's like his, Kaynan is completely composed. So let's look at that real quick. So you can see Kaynan is completely composed while Cyborg is, shaking his leg, is a bit, unsure. We can even tell with this demeanor right here.
White, Kaynan Duarte in the blue gi here.
Where Kaynan's completely still.
Now, both of these athletes with impressive resumes, but
Kaynan,
I would say, with a bit more of an edge here, is the current gi world champion in this match.
One thing great that Kaynan does is chain his techniques. That's what I found rolling with him. He's got
time these two have faced off.
He's always a step ahead.
Taking the win by heel hook. That was in 2020 at BJJ Bet. It came as a bit of a surprise, I think, to a lot of people, but an amazing moment there in Jiu-Jitsu. I'm sure Kaynan Duarte would like to even the record a little bit here tonight.
Absolutely.
So there you go. That's a perfect example. Pulls guard, close guard, opens up, knees inside the elbows. From knees inside the elbows, he goes into a spider guard. Just step by step by step by step.
I think there's the big difference in that weakness of Kaynan's too with gi and no gi, because we've seen him finished with that more than one time in no gi. Obviously something he's worked on since then. But as far as the gi game goes, I mean, way less room for error, I think. In a lot of his matches, we don't really see big gaps like that with Kaynan almost ever, I would say.
Look at his composure, man. Look at his face. My man doesn't even flinch.
I love that Kaynan's guard is looking very precise tonight, right? He has like very meaningful movements. Every time he moves, he, like you said earlier, Chase, he seems to inch forward into his next step. It's very calculated, very precise, and not wasting any unnecessary energy, any unnecessary time. And I think that can feel very daunting on the other end because there isn't any room for error.
Spider guard is good on big opponents. Those
See Cyborg
smaller guys watching this,
rather than the kneeling passing,
try and
which opens up a whole different host of
figure
options.
your spider guard game.
Big explosion from Cyborg gave
Jeez! Let's watch that again. What a sweep. It was actually he slipped off that spider guard.
Host of options.
Oh, and it was almost like a butterfly holding.
Cyborg gave kind of the momentum he needed.
Let's watch that again. That was almost like a butterfly.
Kneeling passing.
So he pushes his leg, goes to a De La Riva on one side. Cyborg falls into that butterfly.
Kneeling passing, which opens up a whole different host.
Falls into that butterfly and then gets elevated up.
Which opens up a whole different host of options.
And because of that arm, he can't post.
Big explosion from Cyborg gave
Fantastic
kind of the momentum he needed to switch him over to the direction, get an easy sweep. But I like the aggression from Cyborg. He wanted to make something happen, but kind of.
Can we get some dolphin claps for that?
Because he is in control of that moment, he knows exactly where the position is going and he can kind of feel it out and be a step ahead. So it only took him being, half a second ahead there to be able to use that momentum to finish the sweep and come up on top into a passing position that we saw him very similarly in against Elder Cruz in his opening round with a nice crossface on the left-hand side and a good control of the pants with the right-hand grip.
Yeah, you took the thought right from my head there, Kendall. This is very reminiscent of what we saw just half an hour ago, more or less.
So right here,
Kendall.
Similarly in against
right here,
of the pants with
right here. He's got his knee that's through. He's got that almost blocking off that hip, and then he's holding on to the pants here, waiting for Cyborg to open this up. Because Cyborg is great at doing it's a tornado sweep. So his tornado sweep's incredible, and I really like it. I've tried it not in competition, but in class, and it's actually a really good sweep. People don't really see it coming, but to get that, he's got to get that all the way underneath, and then he's got to get this leg with his right arm. But Kaynan has got his leg all the way through, not letting him do that. So he can't come around to do his signature move because he's being blocked right now, which is really just composure and efficiency from Kaynan.
the right-hand grip.
Yeah, you took the thought right from my head there, Kendall. This is very reminiscent of what we saw just half an hour ago, more or less, with Elder Cruz. And that's the beautiful thing about a super high-level athlete is that they just hit the same techniques over and over and over again against anybody.
Relentless, yeah.
So he moved to the other side,
underhook there
and then
on
he
the
let
right-hand
go of
side,
the
kind of
grips.
securing Cyborg's left shoulder to the mat. Now, it is not a surefire pass, though, because we see Roberto's right foot there as a butterfly hook. He can try to use that to alleviate some of the pressure, keep some of the weight off, but we see that in the hips. We don't necessarily see that with the upper body. We had a strong crossface there for a moment with Kaynan still, regardless of that butterfly.
So Cyborg's trying to get underneath. Kaynan's just not letting him
the
at
belt
all.
pass through the back of the leg. Seems to be what he's holding on to with his left hand, which does save you for a moment from that knee cut pass because it's hard for Kaynan to then drive his leg all the way to the ground in like a traditional knee cut position. But I will say that even though it alleviates the pressure, it's very hard to get a lot of offense off of there with someone's pressure like Kaynan. And as I say that, of course, Cyborg starts to come right up to the feet and now is a very strong single leg.
That was a good come up.
No longer the belt, though, I think. Or maybe it's Kaynan's belt. Yeah, it's
like
Kaynan's belt. Or do you
I think
switch
he has
it?
a lapel, possibly the belt with the lapel. I can't see from this angle.
Yeah, that's impressive. He
Interesting.
definitely had the belt before. Now he has the lapel. Not sure when he found the time to insert the lapel into the equation, but definitely a much tighter grip than the belt itself.
Can we shut these commentators off for a
Kaynan,
quick
at
second?
least,
It's interesting why he hasn't gone to the outside. Kaynan, and then he breaks the grip that way. And then he goes again. He tries to pull him into close guard to do the same. Chaining of techniques. Cyborg knows what's going on. He's trying to break free. Now he's trying to take his back. Fantastic. Like, it's incredible movement by Kaynan. Cyborg not letting him get any grips through, because he was trying to do the same thing. He was trying to grab that other hand and then go back into the transition into Spider. But this time Cyborg didn't let him. He tried to go that with the arm and now, ooh, jeez. Cyborg doing well to push his weight down and get through the legs. Can he finish him from here? Yes, he can. Can he finish Cyborg from here? Probably not. Probably not with the pressure that Cyborg is putting. But what's happening here is that Cyborg's also blocking the hip. See that? See his left hip, Kaynan's left hip. So he couldn't. What was happening there is that Kaynan needed to bring his hip all the way back to then throw his legs to that triangle. But Cyborg did a good job on blocking that hip with Cyborg's right hip, so he couldn't bring that leg up to throw it over his shoulder. Because once it's over the shoulder, it was pretty much gone. Because he had that grip. That grip was a really strong grip. Interesting stalemate position here. He's looking over to the corner. Did the corner say something?
Well, it's staying in no matter another position that Kaynan's amazing in, so it really is no easy scenario no matter where you're at with Kaynan. Cyborg so far doing amazing.
Let's try and listen to that.
Really is no easy scenario no matter where you're at with Kaynan. Cyborg so far doing pretty well.
Let's try and take that leg.
But still down by 2.
Eat that leg forward is the translation.
Here.
Interesting to me that Kaynan opts to keep a knee shield while his left leg is so trapped under the body of Cyborg. We typically only
you're
see
saying
knee
let's
shield
try
if you
and
can
win
bring
that
your
leg.
left leg or your opposite leg out. Maybe place the foot on the hip or the foot on the knee, but Kaynan was not really bothered by that at all. I think that may have something to do with the grip he has with the left hand on the pants. Feels that even though his leg was trapped for a moment, he'd have his left hand to help him make that space, and he does now, bringing his foot to the hip, really able to control the distance and the positioning, the base of Cyborg at this point.
What's interesting in this match is that Kaynan's grip is just on point, where Cyborg can't break his grips the whole match. And then I don't know why Cyborg is trying to grip there, because then look, Kaynan does the right job. He grabs them again, goes back to the original move.
Rare to see somebody approach Kaynan's guard with a knee
And tries the
passing
same
style
sweep
as well. We
that
don't see
started.
that quite
So
often. approach Kaynan's guard with.
As we can see here, he tried the same sweep. He went under, but instead of Cyborg breaking to his left, he broke that grip on his right and sat back down. The last time Cyborg went to the other side and then got into that butterfly hook and then got swept over. This time, it wasn't like that. He went to the right-hand side and didn't lift his left, which was good.
Often at this
Good
level.
by Cyborg, good understanding.
But it's not so surprising when you think of the fact that the first time Cyborg did try to stand up and do a pretty explosive pass, that is what led to the points on the board, right? So maybe looking for a different approach, but doesn't have too much longer to play with the approach. And
Goes for the back again. He's going to get the back. He's going to get the back.
Left hand very
Take the
tight
lapel,
on
take the
armpit there,
lapel.
now reaching for the lapel.
Oh, that lapel.
Oh, he got his arm
clever,
out.
but
He got his
Cyborg gets
arm.
that arm back across. Still a strong look from Kaynan. Leaving Cyborg to wonder, what can he do?
Duarte's coach saying again.
Half left.
See,
Yeah, very difficult.
see,
When
Kaynan
back
can just
to that arm
break
again from Kaynan.
Cyborg's
He has
grips.
the left hand on the back
That's
of the
been the
arm.
main
He can
thing.
use that to drag Cyborg's right elbow across the center line.
That's been the main thing. The main thing is that Kaynan can break Cyborg's grip, where Cyborg has not been able to break any of Kaynan's grip. Kaynan has controlled this entire match easily. It's interesting to see because Cyborg was a great innovator in jiu-jitsu. As much as, you know, he did have his brute force, but then you see these up-and-coming players like Kaynan that's just complete control from start to finish. And it's almost like a constant defense by Cyborg. 22 seconds, he's definitely not going to pass this guard. Seems like it doesn't have an answer. That's about... It's going to break the grip again. That face. God damn it. God damn it. Why is this kid so strong? 10 seconds. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Kaynan Duarte wins.
And that's going to be it. Kaynan Duarte takes that match, and he'll be moving on to the final.
Good match. Kaynan wins. Complete control of Cyborg. A little surprised, but not really. I am actually a little surprised on Cyborg's. I feel like he could have done a lot better. He was completely outmatched, out-controlled, out-gripped, and the positional play was way better from Duarte. He nearly got to his back twice. When Cyborg's best part was coming up and taking that single leg. He had the lapel grip, but he wasn't able to do anything, which amazed me. Great match nonetheless. I'm glad IBJJF is starting to evolve with the times of jiu-jitsu. I believe this is the first ever GP Absolute that they've ever put on. And if they continue to put these on, I think it'll grow the brand and they won't fall behind, because I think they just allowed leg locking last year. So it's cool to see that they're developing with the sport. Anyways, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Did you enjoy the match? Did you think it was a bit slow? Did you like my commentating? Let me know below. These are my favorite comments. And by the way, I'm going to be doing an analysis of Dylan Dennis's matches. Gordon Ryan recently just violated the man.
But he was pretty well respected coming up through brown belt. And then what people don't know about this is everyone thinks like he's like this badass. Well, then now I think they're kind of starting to realize. But if you actually look at the statistics, and I've been dying to actually say this on a big podcast, Dylan Dennis has a record in jiu-jitsu since black belt of 18 wins and 16 losses. Like, he's not nearly as good at jiu-jitsu as people think he is. Like, everyone just references the match with me. Like, yeah, that was 5 years ago. Like, I wasn't good either. But Dylan since black belt is 18 and 16.
And Dylan Dennis did come back at him. So I'll do a little analysis of that beef and also Dylan Dennis's matches. I believe he's fighting KSI soon, which is going to be pretty cool to to watch. Maybe I'll see how he goes there, the jiu-jitsu world, mixing in with the YouTube world. Anyways, I'll leave it there. Like, subscribe, all the good stuff. Help us grow. Appreciate you. Ciao.